Guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be painting this shell. Super simple, as are all my shells. But what's exciting about this one is I've used a brand new paint range. When I say brand new, I mean been out for one to 2 weeks. And it's from a brand called Fastrax. And I'm not just saying it when I say it, but it's the best paint I've used by far, by a long way. That pearl blue is absolutely gorgeous. The solid grey is exactly the solid grey that you're after. The white, and we'll get to the painting in a second. Ordinarily with white, you find it being very thick with the pigment and quite often it can block your air gun. Not this. I used all of these paints at 40 psi because there's not much shading on this shell, or none at all, with no reducer. But they do have a reducer. It's there. But I went straight from the bottle with the white, with the 0.3 needle. Amazing. And lastly, just one more thing. This one. So this is their detail black, and the detail black is finer and smoother than a standard black, which means you can achieve some really nice shading with this, and it's easier to use for newbies like me. And I'll go over an example of that later in the video. Link for these are in the description. But thank you CML Distribution for sending me some. I said I would do an honest review, and I'm being completely honest. They're a winner. I'm going to get the full range. Just check these out. Fluoro pink and the pearl blue. Top job, top job. So this is going to be a really simple 3-colour design with a different colour outline. And as mentioned in the start of the video, we're using the all new Fastrax paints. So let's get started. First things first, we need to mark the windows and then our design. Let's go. And just in case you really like this shell, I'll go over it at the end, but this is the Centro B7 shell and it's absolutely gorgeous. Just look at the shape. I cannot wait to see this with paint on. So in many other of my painting videos, I like to use a header card as my straight edge. This flexes and contours to the shape of the body, and it's really cheap. We've all got loads of header cards, so let's do the design on the shell. Let's find our central point. A little bit of freehand just to get over the ridge there. And then that's going to start from the same spot. Again, a little bit of freehand. Bring that down. Now there's a really nice body contour line here, so I'm going to bring this down. And then I'm going to go with that contour line. Nice. And then again, header card. I'm just going to bring that down. A little bit of an angle there. So now we've just got to do that on the other side. So a quick tip for copying this design onto the other side. So we want to know really the measurement from this window to here. So on the other side of the shell, we can match it up. So with a new header card, you can actually measure. So let's just put that point on there, which the line starts. So that's going to give us a mark. So when we take that round to the other side, we can match that, make a small mark, and we know that that small dot is going to be symmetrical to the other side. That is why I like using header cards. Same again for this point here. So I can actually put this header card from that point to a reference point there at the start of this contour. Spin that round, start of the contour, reference point, small dot, and now I know that this line goes from here. So now I can just join those two dots. So that is the design on the front half. So nicely nice, using the header card. So I'm just going to do the same on the back now. So we'll just quickly do that design, and then we've got our 3 colours ready to cut. So there we have the design. Very, very simple. Keep it simple. I said it at the start, but when you're learning, simplicity is your friend, and get complicated as you learn. So that's the rear section, the middle section, and the front all round, using the tips and the tricks. Super easy, super straight lines. Next up, cutting. So as mentioned in the last few videos that I've done, I have settled on a number 16 blade. I definitely find that to be the most consistent and easy to use blade, and I'll put a link in the description just so you can see exactly which blade that is. But number 16, not number 11, not for me, number 16. So all we're going to do now is we're going to go over all of these lines from the inside, one cut all the way around, and then I'll show you a little trick to getting perfect outlines. We're not going to do 2 lines, we're not going to do 2 pen lines in order to get our outline. We're going to do 1 cut line and then another cut line, and we're going to remove this first. I will show you more in just a second. So now we have our cut lines. So cut from the inside with the number 16 blade. We're going to now remove the pen mark with this isopropyl alcohol, and then I will use the cut line which you will see as a marker to cut the secondary line which will create the outline. So let's just remove this ink. So as you can see, our cut lines are now visible, and I'm going to go into the inside of the shell, and then I'm going to cut my outline to the thickness I want against the cut line, which means I will get an accurate line all the way around, as opposed to following 2 or double pen lines. It will make sense in a minute. And there we go. See the 2 cut lines? Perfectly symmetrical. So I'm just using the other cut line as a point of reference. Now we need to do the whole shell. So there we have the double cut line all over. Airbrush of choice, the Iwater Eclipse HPCS. Done lots of videos on this, and yes, it's expensive, but to be honest, it's worth its weight in gold. It just goes, it just sprays, and I've had no issues with it. But this isn't a review on the airbrush, this is a review on these awesome Fastrax paints. So first things first, always would do the darkest colours first. In this case, it's going to be the outline, because that's going to be black. So we're going to remove the mask from this section, and then we're going to use this awesome Fastrax detail black. So it's actually a consistently smoother mixture. So for shading and fine detail, this is going to be the one. So for anyone that hasn't seen this before, you just remove the liquid mask for the areas where we're going to apply the paint. So now we're going to do that on all of the outlines, so it'll all look a little bit like that. Always shake your paints. So that is 2 coats of the black, and it is so smooth, that black. I've not used the paint this good, particularly this black, just yet in my very, very newbie journey so far. So next up, we're going to remove the next darkest colour, so now our black's done. We're going to do the next darkest colour, which is going to be this pearl blue, which looks absolutely sensational. So this is going to be on the front of this one. So we just need to remove the mask on the front. So there we have it. Masking removed. So we're just going to hit this now with the pearl blue. Wow. Now that is a pearl blue if I've ever seen one. I'm a massive fan of the pearl blue at the moment in general. So again, we're just going straight in. No reducer, 45 psi, lovely. I can tell you now, I'm already sold on this pearl blue. That is 1 coat. That absolutely looks amazing. And to be honest, the camera probably doesn't do it justice. So let's get a second coat on, but yeah, wow. So that is the second coat of the pearl blue. Looking absolutely sensational. That is a beautiful paint. So next up, we're gonna do solid grey, and that's gonna be on the rear section. I'm not gonna go and back this yet because the grey is right over here. So we're going to do that grey, and because this middle section is going to be white, I will just do 1 white coat at the end, and then that will cover this middle section, and it will then back the grey and the pearl blue. So next up, just need to remove this next section. I know you're not going to get the full colour until we remove the plastic, but that grey is unbelievable. It is a really nice kind of flat, light grey, and yeah, that's my new favourite grey, 100%. Now, we're going to move on to this last section, so we're just going to remove all of the remaining mask, obviously not the windows, and then once we've done that, the best part. Nearly there now. So we can see we've got the pearl blue, the solid grey, and now white in the middle, and obviously at the same time we'll do the whole shell in white, and then this will back the blue and back the grey, and then we'll see what we are left with. So we are going to be using the Fastrax solid white, and if it's as good as the rest of the paint so far, I'm sure this is going to be just as impressive. So the white is on. Now for the best bit, the absolute best bit, the big reveal on whether it was a success or not a fail, but learned. Straight in. Wow, okay. I am really happy with that. I'm not sure how well that's popping in the camera, but I tell you what, that is great. Let's take a closer look. So there we have it. A simple but effective shell painted with Fastrax airbrush paints, 40 psi with no reducer. Amazing. The next part of the painting journey is going to be shading, and I'm definitely going to be using the detail black.